So you want to start a Pokemon card business. I really suggest you pay attention to this video very closely because what I have to say can happen to anyone. What's up everyone and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Cody from Cellig's Pokemart. I do operate an online LGS. If you do want to support the channel or the store, head on over to the link in the description below where you can find an assortment of Pokemon TCG products. I want to start off by saying, please share this video with as many people as possible, especially people in this hobby, because what is happening to me and my business could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. A lot of things here hit me hard, took out my legs, really crippled the business, just crippled me mentally as well. And I'm going to go over this step by step what happened. When I first started this channel over a year and a half ago, it was basically to walk people through what it's like running a business for Pokemon. The do's and don'ts. I'm learning along the way. I've been selling pretty regularly since spring of 2020, okay? It was shortly after that where I decided I wanted to step it up, level up my game, get a distribution account, and I started Cellig's Pokemart. I filed for an LLC. That was the initial plan. As the channel started developing, I wanted to continue showing off those aspects of the business. But I wanted to just enjoy Pokemon with everyone here. And I wanted to represent the everyday collector. Because not all of us can get fancy $500,000 ad revenue checks like some of these bigger social media content creators. So, that was one of the most important things for me. I wanted to represent the everyday collector. Okay? So when I open up a vintage pack or something like that, that isn't me showing off my money. That's me showing off what I saved up for the last 3, 4, 5 months so I can open up a $300 pack with everyone here and just enjoy the experience. It's a lot different. When you really know the value of the dollar, it feels a whole lot different. Trust me. It's not like we open up vintage cards every single day on this channel. So we appreciate, this community appreciates things like that a little bit more. That was my initial goal of this channel. That was my initial goal. I wanted to show you the do's and don'ts and the passions of our everyday collector. So something I didn't really discuss much in the past, within 3 months of running the business, I was scammed for the very first time. I took it very personal. Because of what my intentions are for this business, it's not a cash cow to me, okay? I wanted to make a living doing something I love, but I also want to be able to give back to the community as much as I possibly can. And I do that. I do giveaways as often as I can. Even when I'm not always in the best financial position to be doing stuff like this, I do what I can for the community. So I really took this to heart when this first happened. I sold a beautiful pack fresh Blaine's Charizard to someone in Canada. What happened was they got their package, they signed for it, they took it, and then they filed with their bank a chargeback that they didn't recognize this purchase, and the bank started fighting me, trying to take the money back. Now, this was during a time where the hype of Pokemon was very high, and keep in mind, there is a premium attached to pack fresh vintage cards like this, especially a Charizard, because this is something you could take to PSA and very likely get a PSA 10. So this card was worth several $100s. This was probably, I think I sold it for $500. Okay. Now I know Blaine's Charizard. Some people might say, yeah, as much as it's a Charizard, it ain't worth $500. Well, this is a pack fresh card. Could have potentially got a 10. If it would have got a 10, it's worth several $1,000s now. So keep that in mind. There is definitely a premium attached to stuff like this. I fought their bank for months. It took months of fighting it. Shopify was on my side the whole time, thankfully. I provided proof that this was a legitimate transaction. This was out of the US. This is international. Okay, so now it's basically he said, she said. This Canadian bank over here wants to stand up for their resident. And they literally fought me this whole way, even though it was a legitimate sale. And eventually I did win this case, thankfully. Because I would have taken it even more personally if they would have not only stolen my Charizard, got their money back, but the way it hits, it's just like, this hobby is supposed to be enjoyed. This is why we're in this hobby. We're not in this hobby to be a part of being scammed. Why would we be? And that is one thing that really worries a lot of people. So many people are afraid of being screwed over in this hobby. They have right to be. They really do. Because it can happen to anyone. It could happen to a good person. It could happen to a bad person. It could happen to anyone. But I feel a lot of the fear lies in the wrong places. A lot of people are scared of resealed products, especially with modern. I don't understand this, but there are people that literally think, like, they question a lot of modern products. And quite frankly, I don't think a lot of these modern products should be questioned. Because something like Battle Styles, I've heard people saying that Battle Styles product looks resealed. Nobody's resealing Battle Styles. Just quit at that, please. All right. There are definitely some issues that needed work on Pokemon's end with quality control. Just because glue pops off on a package doesn't mean it was a resealed or tampered with package. Heat happens. Heat lifts the glue. Okay, it happens. It's out of everyone's control. We can't help it as a store owner. Pokemon can't help it. Distribution can't help it, except for possibly doing a better job from the start. That's basically the only solution. Where the real fear needs to lie is in fraud. Fraud is a serious problem, not just in the collectibles hobby, but across the whole world. This video is not about that Charizard, though. This video is actually about a Christmas gift I received this year, which was already a very stressful Christmas. Let me start off by saying nothing in the month of December went right. In my life, in my personal life, in the business, nothing went right. Sales were very low for the first start of that quarter. It's very difficult to compete with big box stores when everyone's running these huge Black Friday deals, and their deals, some of these big box retailers are able to offer prices lower than what it even costs to get some of this product in. You just can't compete with that. It's very difficult. So sales have not only started the fourth quarter very, very low. Mid-December, sales actually picked up really, really crazy. Really good. I mean, insane. This was during the time when we started getting a big flood of like Evolving Skies booster boxes and all that good stuff. So things really picked up. I was selling cases of Evolving Skies at a time. I was selling cases of Chilling Reign. Wasn't really selling Battle Styles. No surprise there. But my inventory was practically wiped out by the end of December when it came to Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies. And for good reason. Prices were incredible at that time. Then about a week before Christmas, my stove took a crap on me. How are we going to do Christmas dinner without a stove? Let me tell you this, it was a very interesting family dinner this year. It definitely was. I brought out the roaster for the ham, brought out a toaster oven, I brought out electric burners, all this good stuff. Like, we went out of our way to make sure that this did not ruin our Christmas. And then Christmas happens. We got robbed. Just the icing on the cake, right? Now you tell yourself, well, I'm different. I don't own an LGS. I sell online. I want to sell online. That's what I do. We sell online and we got robbed. How did we get robbed? Someone hacked our store. What could someone do when they hack a store? Well, they shut down the security in the store when they hacked it. Swapped out all of our routing information, banking information to their own. They funneled thousands of dollars of sales into their bank account. We lost thousands of dollars for Christmas. That was a Christmas gift to us. I thought I was doing everything right. I had a very, very strong password, something that could not have been guessed. So what happened here? Quite frankly, I spent hours on the phone with Shopify talking about their security division. I had to file a report with the FBI Cyber Crimes Division as well. But it's not just about the money at this point. Not only did we lose thousands of dollars, but it crippled the business. It took out our legs. Because after this, Shopify started up an investigation. They froze all of our funds. So every sale made late December till now has never touched our bank account. It just went into limbo. It was frozen. So keep that in mind while I explain all this. What happens when the funds are frozen? Nothing's getting into the business account. At this point, our business account is basically set out to automatically direct deposit into my personal account, my paycheck every week. This is my full-time job. Okay, this is my full-time job. I don't pay myself very much. I pay myself enough to get by and have a little bit to enjoy life. I don't pay myself enough to go out and buy fancy sport cars, which yes, I have a sports car. I do. I bought this before I started my business. I used to be a car salesman. I used to drive a tractor trailer. I did a lot of things in my past workforce experience before I decided to quit my full-time job and run a business, because this is my passion. This is something I love. And I don't think it's really difficult to explain how passionate I am about this and how passionate I am about this hobby. And to us, not only crippled our personal life, because now with no money going into the business account, there's no money going into my account. How do I pay bills? Well, I have to take out loans now. Max out credit cards. Just to get by with everyday life. Pay for the electric bill. The expensive ass internet that I got to pay for so that I could even stream, because the old internet wasn't doing it. I had to upgrade to one of the best internet packages I possibly can, and that's not cheap. All this stuff adds up. And then, who am I if I stopped going on with my own life, personal life? Just stop and let it break me down and not do anything. Sit here, sulk over it. What would that would just make them win even more at this point. So I'm not going to stop enjoying life. I'm not going to stop my date night every week with my woman that I love very dearly. How's that fair that I let that cripple my personal life, my personal relationship? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to still try to enjoy life as much as I can. And I've done my best at this point to just get on with it and move on. I was robbed. That's that. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just them stealing thousands of dollars from me. They took out my legs because now the business can't thrive. I struggled with personal finances now because I have no money going into my business account. And boom. Top it all off. It screws me pretty hard with distribution, because now I'm selling product. I didn't shut down my store because I can't. This is my job. Even though I'm not getting money right now, it's on hold. It's coming someday, okay? It'll get to me someday. But now I'm basically sold out of 85 to 90% of everything I have. And why can't I restock? I don't have money coming in because everything is on hold. I had to talk to my sales rep. We put everything on hold at distribution. I have wave 2 of my Fusion Strike on hold. I have Vivid Voltage booster boxes on hold. I have Evolution collection boxes, Evolution tins, Glaring Rapidash collection boxes. I have so much sealed product just sitting there. Now that's just building up, and that's building up. I have nothing to really sell right now at this point. Luckily, we were invited to Whatnot shortly after this fraud happened and we were robbed. And this helped out a lot because Whatnot was a completely different income source, basically. I sold on Whatnot. I've been selling and still am. And that income is a very long process to get paid with Whatnot, but that's starting to come in now as I'm speaking. So it's been a little while since I've actually gotten paid into my business account, okay? That's starting to roll in. But with everything happening, I've been forced to part ways with a lot of cards that I would have preferred keeping in my collection. But I had to do this to keep moving on with life and keep moving on with the business. This is one of those sacrifices you got to make sometimes. And not, as much as it upsets me, there were a lot of things I had to let go. And let go for a lot less than they were worth on the streams or whatnot. Now tonight, I'm ready to talk about everything that happened and how it's being handled, because I'm finally starting to get somewhere with this investigation with Shopify. So for the longest time, everything was frozen. I had not been hearing anything. It was complete silence. Nothing from the FBI, nothing from Shopify. And I mean, we got a little further. We didn't find out who did this, but I can share a little information here. I received the email. They told me after when the investigation started that they would attempt to file a payment reversal with the bank account that received all this money. I received an email. Now there were keep in mind, there were a lot of transactions that were being funneled into this bank account. Every sale has its own transaction. Received the email this afternoon. I'll put it up here on the screen. But basically says that they attempted the payment reversal. So far, these two were already not going to work. They said these two failed. Now, there were probably another 25, 30 different payments that needed to be reversed. But this is not a good sign. These two pretty quickly came back that they cannot reverse these payments. The money's gone. Big shocker. Now, I mean, some of you might be thinking, well, there's like this is some guy's bank account. It should be a little bit easier. They should be able to track this down, pinpoint whose bank this is, and all that good stuff. Well, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. Start thinking like a criminal here. If you were seriously going to be committing fraud, and this might actually be borderline felony. I don't know if this is going to be considered a felony. I'm not sure the threshold, how many $1,000s you need to steal for it to be a felony. I would say we lost probably about $3,000 in inventory and payments, which to some people might not sound like a lot, but especially for a small business owner where that $3,000 really is very important to keep everything rolling smoothly. That is still a lot of money for a lot of average people. It really is. So just think like a criminal for a second here. Do you honestly think they're going to make this their main personal account? No. This is going to be a burner account. So chances are this person's committing fraud in many other areas, and they're probably feeding all that money into this little burner account, then probably transferring from that account to their main account. There's no way they're going to be transferring directly to a personal account. That's not going to happen because they would get caught immediately. So, with that information said, I'm not expecting any of my money back. I just want the business to stand back up on its two legs. Be it, I want to move on and grow Sellig's Pokemart, our store, into make it bigger and better in every way, and all that is not possible without the amazing support of this community. This community has really done a lot and really supported me a lot over the period of time. Now, since this happened, I've doubled security on my account. Shopify has now disabled the old bank account from the fraud, from the scammer. They've finally gotten my account back on. So here's another problem. The fact that this account was on there, and I don't know the account information, all that good stuff. I had no way of changing it back to my own personal bank account because as a security measure, get this, you need old bank account information to get in. So the fact was, they actually automatically were suspicious, thinking that someone may have gotten a hold of my banking information, which I've already taken all the proper measures with my bank and discussed all that. There has been no breach with my bank account. What happened was they disabled their security to literally just wipe out my information and put theirs in. That's exactly what Shopify had to do for me. They had to disable the security feature so I could overwrite all that information because I didn't have that information to change the account information back to mine. So, as we're speaking today, Shopify has finally gotten my account back into the system. They are going to be unfreezing all funds this afternoon, from my understanding. They are still working on reversal for a lot of other payments. Like I said, 2 of them have already came back pretty quickly as a failed attempt to reverse. With that said, the only measures I can take at this point is pressing charges. Now, I already filed with the FBI Cyber Crimes Division. All right, you can find forms online pretty easily with this. Shopify has also given me the scammers' banking information, all their information, the name of the bank, the account information, routing information, IP address, which you're probably thinking right now, the IP address doesn't mean anything because chances are if they're scamming, they're fraud, it's going to be a VPN. They're going to be pinging off different locations to hide their trace. I don't have very much faith in that IP address. Unless if somehow they were able to trace the actual original IP address, which I doubt. Now you might be also thinking, how can Shopify legally disclose someone else's routing information, someone else's banking information? Easy. This person is a criminal. Everything they did to get into my account was 100% illegal. They committed fraud, they scammed us, they stole money. They stole the American dream, basically. I'm just a regular guy, an average person, trying to pursue my passion, starting my own damn business. They did not sign any privacy agreements for Shopify. They didn't do none of that. You know why? They don't have a Shopify account. They logged into my account. They stole my information. So how could you sign some type of privacy agreement? You can't. If you're getting in illegally, you have no protection. You have no rights at this point. So with that information, I'm relaying all the bank account information, the routing information to the FBI. Hopefully, with that information, this could really help out with their investigation. I'm not really expecting too much coming out of the FBI's end because I'm sure to them, a couple $1,000s is probably nothing to them. They probably don't care. But at least I'm doing what I can at this point to move on. And if somehow they do manage to catch this person, I want to make it very clear that this isn't about just the $3,000+ that was stolen from me. Because they stole more than that. They took out my legs. They took out the business. They hurt my personal life because of all this happening. They did more damage than just steal $3,000 from me. That's all I have to say tonight. If anything else does come to my attention, any updates that really leads to finding whoever did this or recovering my money or anything like that, I'll definitely be sure to update everyone on that. For now, because we're getting the business back up and running. Hopefully, within the next few weeks, I'll be able to get back on my feet, start getting orders in from distribution, and try to move on with my life. If I don't get the money back, I don't get the money back. But like I said, it was more than just the money. Because they crippled the business, and crippling the business crippled me. So, with that said, everyone, I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching this video. I just want you to consider if you are going to start a Pokemon business or just start reselling Pokemon in general, whether you take the leap to get your certification, LLC, whatever you got to do, be cautious, because just because you think you might be safe because you don't have a physical store, you can still get robbed. There are still criminals out there. As always, everyone, I really appreciate the support. Let's make like Charizard. Keep this passion burning.